Hey guys, welcome to Scratching the Dirt. This is Nikki, and I'm starting over here by the chicken coop. I have my POV ready to go. I don't really know what I'm doing today, but I do know that I have a lot to do later on this afternoon, and it's really still cool outside. So I'm going to strap you guys onto my neck here, and we're going to go through and see what needs to be done in the garden. And I'm going to chat with you guys about everything that's changed and is changing in the last week or so. So let's get into it. All right, let's start by taking a little walk through this garden here. As you can see, there are several things that I have let go. There are several things that I have given up on. And it's just that time of year. Like the weeds are out of control, which they've kind of been the whole season. But all of this, look at my zinnias. They're just, I almost chopped these out the other day, and I decided not to just because the flowers are so pretty and even though they're laying on the ground. And the bumblebees still really like them. Same thing with this salvia, this beast. It's laying over. That one windstorm kind of took it out. And then I've just left it, and now the weight of it is too much. The San Marzanos are gone. I chopped those back last time. All of this stuff is still going. Look at all the bolting on the basil. Like, I really need to take care of that. The peppers over here are suspect, but also better. Like, I have a video where I talked about how it looked like they were being eaten, and I didn't do anything to deter that. I just walked away. So they're doing what they're doing. We really wanted a lot of peppers, but I just with everything going on, I've only done so much. I took these little yellow pear tomatoes out last weekend. These were last week. These that are down here, these little cherry tomatoes are still doing okay. So even though it looks a mess, I'm going to leave these. This guy was a volunteer. He just needs to come out of here. I tried to keep him, but it's going to go. And then over here, tomato bed. These San Marzanos here, and then they look crammed. And then these tomatoes that, now they're kind of bunched together. I'm not sure what's what, but some of these tomatoes that we put in late in the season are doing okay. This basil, I've been keeping it trimmed back from the bolting pretty well. Jose's been eating off of this one. So like we got to at least have one. So the girls get this stuff when I pull it off. It goes to the chickens. That tomato is leaned over. Probably should fix that. I'm just going to throw this here for now because you live there. Another tomato that was a volunteer that's leaning over. Let me walk around here to the what was supposed to be a pepper bed, but has become an eggplant bed. This big eggplant. This big eggplant. There's another one back there. There's greens in here, but there are some peppers. They're so small. I've never gotten a full-size bell pepper, ever. But we do have some jalapenos come in here. Some more over there. And I've been pulling some jalapenos. Some more greens in here. This will all just go to the girls whenever I pull it. Over here, this side of the okra, I left it when I chopped down the others. I left this, but then I stopped harvesting it. So a lot of these okras are just massive. I'm just, you'll see that with the sun. I'm having a hard time telling if it's in shot or not. But look, that thing is massive. The pumpkins. Oh, I got to remember I'm not going to be able to walk through here forever. The pumpkins are coming, but look, they don't look great. There's my 2 happy cucumber vines. Oh, look, a little baby cucumber. And then, of course, these peas over here are doing amazing. I need to check. So I've been kind of letting them dry on the vine rather than taking them inside and drying them. So, and then a couple of these peppers are doing okay over here. This is where I took all the okra out last time. So there's that, the overall kind of what's going on in the garden. So I'm going to do some stuff. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get these 2 tomato plants out. And then I'm also going to take these potted plants over here that I'm not watering. So, and I'm going to probably dump those in the compost. I don't know if I can actually wear this POV thing while I do that, but we'll see. Yeah, hot mess express over here. Not really sure what I want to do with anything. And I had talked before about how Jose and I had decided that we were going to do a fall garden. But with everything going on, I feel like my bandwidth is kind of full. Like my brain is kind of full up of other things that I need to be thinking about. And so I'm not sure yet. I don't know what's going to happen as far as fall. There's a part of me that as far as fall and winter are concerned, I would like to do some of the work in the garden. I'd like to get the rows built up. The beds where the tomatoes and the peppers are, those are coming out. Those are going to become rows. All this like grass and weed and stuff that we've just let take over needs to come out. There's just a lot of things to get ready for next spring. And so I'm trying to decide if I want to focus energy on growing new plants right now to try to get a fall harvest, or if I want to put energy into prepping this for next spring. I think my vote is going to be prep for next spring, but I think Jose really wants a fall garden. So we'll have to see what we come up with. I do know that next month in October, we are going to plant onions. We've never gotten onions to grow, but we've also never planted them at the right time. We've always tried them in the spring, and that's not how it works. They need to go in October and go through the winter. So I think we finally learned that. I just got to find a place where they're going to go. I'm not really sure because wherever I put them, they're going to be there to like May or June, which means that space won't be available for regular spring crops. So I'm working that out. I'm going to figure that out. I actually probably, today's September 11th. So I probably in the next couple of weeks need to order those little starts. I'm going to get the ones that are like, like a little baby onion rather than trying to do them from seed. Yeah, so I'll get those ordered here pretty soon. And then those will at least be ready to go into the ground wherever we decide to put them. I had thought about putting them on the other side where the chickens are in that big bed over there, but I just don't know if it gets enough sun over there. So some parts of the year it does and some parts it doesn't. So I'm going to investigate that a little bit more. That would be an ideal spot to put them, but we'll have to see. Okay. So in the interest of being easy on myself, I'm going to come over here and just take these out right now, these tomatoes. I let you know what's been going on. I talked in my last video about how I had left my full-time job and how I was going to start doing gig work, and I have done that. It has been it has been awesome. Okay, like it has been wonderful having a different kind of challenge and a different kind of stress, because it is stressful for me. I'm not naturally suited for what you have to do for gig work. And I know that it's probably going to sound ridiculous to some people, but again, my perfectionism comes into play and I stress myself out. And so yesterday, let me tell you about yesterday. Yesterday, like I knew I needed to work most of the day, at least like afternoon to evening. And so, that was my plan. And yesterday was September 10th. Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of my mother's passing. And I learned a long time ago when my brother was killed in 2005 that when you focus on those anniversaries, it just does it does a thing to your heart. Like, it's just brutal. And so over the years, like, Kevin died in July 31st, 2005. And I used to struggle for the whole month of July, like, just struggle. And I learned that if I would stop thinking about the fact that it's July and it's almost the anniversary of his death and just try to stay focused on other things, that I do better. It's not that I don't miss him. It's not that I don't want to remember him. It's that it does me no good to be sunk so low for so long while I'm still living, right? Like, and the boys were very little. Nick wasn't even born yet. My youngest wasn't even born yet uh, when Kevin died. And I had things. I had to focus on my children. I had to raise my kids, and I had things I needed to do rather than just live sad for a whole month of the year. So when it came time to get me coming up to the anniversary of Mom's passing, I talked to my dad last weekend, and we talked about it. And I was like, look, I just got to keep myself busy. I'm just gonna, that's what I don't run from my emotions, but what I do is I put them off until it's time to deal with them. I spent a lot of my life just falling victim to my emotions in the moment, right? And that doesn't help anybody. It's not good for anybody. I have things to work out still about my mom's passing. Probably still have things to work out about Kevin's passing, and that was 20 years ago. But I wanted to stay busy, so that's what I did all day yesterday. I stayed busy, and then I got a couple of text messages saying, "Oh, just thinking about you today." Very nice things. But because I had done such a good job of putting it out of my mind so that I can, think about it later, it kind of set me off a little bit. I was like, dang it, here we go. Like, I didn't want this. I was really trying really hard. And I can't control how other people deal. And there's nothing wrong with how other people deal. And there's nothing wrong with people being kind. It's just that I had a plan, and it didn't work out the way I wanted. I kind of got a little sad, off kilter, something. And then it was like, okay, well, I need to go work. Like, I was going to go work. This is what we wanted to do today. We want to stay distracted, stay busy, make some money, I still got to live here. So got in the car, and I don't, uh, I live in a small town, so I don't really do gig work here. I drive into the closest bigger city. And so I was driving in, and when I got to town, I was telling Jose what I was doing, where I was at, and everything. He was at work. I was texting him, and I was like, I caught myself like zoning out on the drive, and I was like, this is not good. I'm just going to take this out. I'm done with you. This is not good. Like, I need to be focused. I'm not good at gig work yet. And in order to keep my anxiety at bay and my worries about messing up down, I have to stay focused. If I just stay focused and use my brain, I do okay. And so I was like, okay, I'm space cadet here. I need to get it together. And so I put a lot of pressure on myself to just get somewhere, accept that first order, and then start delivering. Well, let me tell you all about this first order. So I had to go pick up food, which, that's what I'm doing now. So I had to go pick it up. The pickup was in an odd location. Um, I don't really get out much, like in the bigger town. I like to just mind my business and stay in my small town and hang out with my chickens and my husband and stuff. And so I wasn't super familiar with this place, but I found it. I did great. I got it picked up, got back in the car, followed the directions, which included a turnaround on a highway, which I did, but then I pulled into the wrong place off the highway, and I had to take a loop-de-loop and go back around and then come back and do it again. And then I finally found the building. And my intention was to avoid apartment deliveries until I get more confident. Well, this person had put a street address on their order with no apartment number. And so I took it, going, oh, okay, yeah, I can do a house, no problem. Well, then once I get close, I get a message that tells me the apartment number. I was like, crap, okay, it's an apartment building. I can do this. I can do it. I'm not happy about it. Feel like that was sneaky because there are a lot of people that won't deliver to apartments because they're like me, because it's always a pain. Anywho, so I have trouble finding this place to begin with. Then I have trouble figuring out how to get in. Like, it's this building where there's no outdoor or outside doors. Like, everybody's door to their place is actually inside in these hallways. And so I couldn't figure out an entrance point. So I finally found one, and it had like this sign that said which apartments this door is the entrance for. And so the number I was looking for was by the sign, but it had a keypad. I was like, okay, great. Can't get in here. So I messaged the customer, and then I was like, I need a keypad. I don't even know if I'm at the right door, but I can't get in the building without a code. And I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And in my haste to get the order to the customer, because heaven forbid Nikki make a mistake and not be exactly on time, not be perfect, I panicked, and I was like, fine, I'm just going to go drive around. I'm just going to go see if there's another way in. Maybe I missed something. So I drove around. I found a parking garage. I was like, okay, Eureka, perfect. We'll go in the parking garage and we'll park and we'll just walk into the building. Nope, you need a keypad to get out of the parking garage into the building, which of course makes sense. It keeps the residents safe. But still, I had no code from the customer. So I was like, up and down the stairs. So I parked on the first floor of the garage. The apartment was on the third floor. The number started with a 3, so I knew that meant third floor. So I'm in the parking garage up and down these stairs thinking, okay, how am I going to get in? What am I missing? And then after I'd gone up and down the stairs a couple of times, because of course I start to panic and don't know what I'm doing, I get the text that gives me the code. I was like, perfect, great. So I try the code. Can't get in. Can't get in. I tried, I think, 3 or 4 different garage doors, or parking garage doors that lead into the building, and the code wouldn't let me into any of them. So I'm like, send a message, and I'm like, the code won't let me in from the garage. What do I do? Well, while I'm waiting for this guy to respond, I find a way, like I could go through a stairwell door, but then there was another door that actually went into the building instead of straight from the garage. Anyway, the code worked there. And so I got into the building. And let me tell you all about this building. So I walk in, and I'm walking down the hall. And as I'm walking, the lights are like popping on ahead of me, like right in front of me. It was so weird. It was like if you've ever kept stuff in a storage unit and they have those motion sensors on the light. So it's like super dark, but as you walk down the hall, the lights start coming on. So I was like, okay, this is creepy. And then all the doors were just doors. There was no doormats. There was no decorations. There was like, this place looked like a creepy ghost town. It was freaking me out. So I'm on the first floor because that's where I finally figured out how to get in. I'm like, okay, there's got to be an elevator. You don't have this many stories without having an elevator. So I go all the way down this creepy hall, and then I come to a T, and I'm like, okay, left or right, left or right, left or right. I'm trying to get my bearings of where I am so that what makes more sense to go left or right. So I go to the left, go all the way down this other hall. And in this little like corner, I find the elevators. Well, during this process, the customer had texted me like, are you in the garage? Where are you? What's going on? And I was like, I found the elevator. I'm on my way up. And so I get up there. Fortunately, the customer's apartment was right there by the elevator. So I dropped it. I got the delivery to them, and then I turned around and left. And I don't know. I was sweating. Oh, I was sweating. I was hot because I've been running around this parking garage and this weird apartment complex thing. Apartment housing. I don't even know what it was. It didn't look like apartments to me. Anywho, so I get in my car. I get out of that garage because I can't use my phone in the garage. So I get out of that garage and I drive around the corner to where there's like a business. And of course, it's like a business where only the people that work there go. It's not open like a public business. But I park in their parking lot and I text Jose. And I was like, oh, this was horrible. This was awful. This was the worst apartment complex I've ever been to. And I text all this stuff, and then I find I'm just like, it's fine. I'm just crying in a parking lot. And this poor man, of course, thank goodness he knows me and he knows how to keep a cool head, because I'm like texting him, he knows I'm having a bad day already. He knows what day it is. And I'm texting him going, I'm just crying in a parking lot. And he's like, slow down. What's going on? What happened? And by this point, I'd become completely embarrassed by the fact that I was just sitting in a parking lot crying, which is very unlike me. I don't cry very often. I just got so overwhelmed. And so I was like, I can't just sit here and cry. I got to, you know what? I know how to get gas. I'm going to go get gas. And so by the time Jose, because of course the man's at work, he's trying to do his job. So by the time he texted me back, I was already on my way to the gas station. And so I get to the gas station and I'm like, it's fine. I know how to get gas. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to reset my brain. Like, I'm going to figure it out. So I did. I went and got gas. And then I was like, okay, I need to get myself out of this area where there's lots of apartments and lots of students, because that city has a college. So I need to get away from that, and I need to get over to the other side where there's less of that. So more houses, older people hopefully ordering, and just I felt like it would be less stress. So there's my plan. I'm doing it. Well, then like the pressure of like, well, it's going to take you forever just to drive across here. You need to at least be paying attention and take an order on the way if you can. And one comes in and I see it and it says Panera. And I was like, oh, okay. I know where Panera is. I could totally do Panera. So I take the Panera order. And so I start heading towards Panera. And I get there and I swear, y'all, I've been to Panera before. I've eaten Panera before. And I will be diggity danged if I didn't not be able to figure out where the freaking Panera was. I drove around in circles because there's like little groups of restaurants and businesses. And I drove around in a circle and couldn't find it. And suddenly I went, it's right there, like across the street. You've been driving in this circle one street over from where you needed to be. So I get there, I get it. And of course, I didn't look at where the delivery was, like where it was going to. I just saw Panera. So this thing takes me through the heart of the college at 4 p.m. so I was sitting in traffic and but I got now that one, the navigation sent me to the wrong spot by just a little bit. I was able to figure that one out pretty easily. And then I get to him and I give him his food, and he of course I was like, I'm so sorry, the navigation sent me over there. He's like, yeah, it always does. I was like, do put it in the instruction, like just put it in the customer notes. So, but it's okay. I watch a lot of YouTubers who do this to kind of help me get ideas of how things work and what I need to do. And I know that a lot of people don't add those kinds of things to the instructions. And it makes sense because if you think about it, you live there. And so it's easy for you. You don't really, once you figured it out, you're not really thinking about whether it's difficult or not. You're just like, yeah, you just get here. Sorry, that was me. Um, so I get it. I understand. I don't know if I would think to do that either. So I don't fault anybody for that. Now in the moment, I wasn't real happy, but I got over it. So after that, it's like 4:30. I take my butt through town, through nearly 5 o'clock traffic, which I don't know if it's the same where you live, but in this city, traffic starts getting bad about 4. I don't know if it's when classes let out or if it might be because of regular like public school traffic, and then of course there's always construction somewhere. Traffic was really bad, and I'm just sitting in traffic going like, I'm going to get to the other side of town. I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to relax, and I'm going to get my butt over to where I know I'm going to be better. I know I'm going to be less stressed. And I did. I eventually got there. And then at 5 o'clock, it started sending me a whole bunch of orders. And I was just like, decline, decline, decline. Because they were crazy orders. It was like, one of them was like $3 to go like 7 miles. Like, I mean, it was just, I was like, no. Like, I'm not driving through 5 o'clock traffic for $3, which is funny because you're probably like, then why did you choose to do this for your income? Listen, there may come a day where I do that. But right now, I'm in the learning process. I'm in the learn how to keep myself calm, learn how to work the apps, learn how to do it process. So anyway, I did a couple of shipped orders after that, which is what I really like. I like doing those. It's where you go shop for people's things at like Target or HEB or wherever. And then you deliver it to their house, and it's all good. It's easy peasy. Like the app, I don't know if you've ever used Ship, but for a driver, the app is awesome. They make it really easy to speak with the customer. Like if something is out of stock, they take you through the process step by step. Super great. It works, and I love it, and it makes me comfortable. So I did that, and then I came home. So what ended up happening was I spent 6 hours in town and did 4 orders yesterday. 6 hours in town for 4 orders. And I could very easily be very, very upset about that, discouraged by that. But I'm choosing to go another route here because what I did was have hard things that I did and figured out. So I'm taking that from it. I was a mess. I was frazzled. I was having a rough emotional day to begin with, and I still took my butt out there and did something that to me is scary. And even if I didn't do a perfect job, I completed the jobs. By golly, I did it. I at least made it to the end, and I decided not to do anymore just because I still had to drive back home and it was starting to get dark. I don't love driving in the dark. I'll probably have to get over that pretty soon, but yeah, 4 orders in 6 hours and 1 crying fit in the car. But I did it. So today I actually have a job interview for a part-time job later today, which for me feels like a wonderful thing. When I filled out the job application, part of the application said, like, you may have to be on your feet for X number of hours Are you capable, or is this okay, or however it was worded. And I was like, hell yes, that is exactly what I want. Exactly. I want some sort of stand up, stay physical job. That's what I need. That's what I've been missing in my life. It's part of the reason why I left my other job, because I cannot stay healthy and sit all day long. And the idea, of course, I know that in the beginning my feet are going to hurt and that's not going to be fun, but we'll move past that. I mean, that's just a matter of getting the right shoes and getting accustomed to being on my feet again. So I'm not worried about that one bit. It's just a little part-time job. Like, it's the kind of job you would do in high school or college. And I'm like super excited, and I really hope I get it. Just, so I can be making money, a little bit of money, but also being up on my feet and being active. And the thing to me that really works is, like, even if it's a part-time job and I only do like 4-hour shifts, then I can split my days. I can run gigs for part of the day and work that shift the other part of the day. And then I feel like I haven't wasted a trip, like wasted the gas to go into town if I'm doing both at the same time. So, I guess maybe by the time this actually posts this weekend, I'll know whether or not I got that job, but wish me luck. I don't think those kinds of like high school or college jobs really take that long to find out, like a professional job would. I don't think it takes that long to find out whether you're going to get it or not. So let's hope. Let's just hope. Like, what we're trying to manifest is that I go do the interview. They think I'm amazeballs, and then they offer me the job on the spot, and I can move forward with planning what my weeks are going to look like. But you never know. I don't know how many interviews they're doing. I don't know if they want an old lady. I'm not old, but I don't know if they want an older lady, especially in a place where there's probably a lot of younger people. Who knows? We're going to go. We're going to see. We're going to find out. And then after that interview, I am going to do some gig work while I'm already in town. So that's where I am. I'm just over here piddling in the garden this morning. Mainly, to be honest, I didn't feel like coming out here this morning. Just because I'm still kind of tired from yesterday. Emotionally, emotions exhaust me more than anything else. But I wanted to get something filmed because I don't know what the weekend is going to look like. I wanted to make sure I have something now that I have a laptop and all as well. But that's where we are. We're just doing the things we want to do. I've got a couple of things in the hopper, like besides just scratching the dirt. I'm about to, when I get done here, I'm going to go film a carnivore vlog. And I had mentioned before, I think we're having a garage sale coming up. So I still have places in the house that I need to get through and get those things like priced and put in boxes so they can be moved over there. I'm keeping busy. And I told Jose last night, as I was telling him the same stories I just told y'all about my day yesterday, I was like, but it feels so good to be exhausted after working because I worked, not because my emotions were toyed with all day long, not because I was frustrated with things being a way they didn't have to be. I was tired because I used my brain, I used my body, and I figured stuff out that I didn't know how to do. And that kind of exhaustion, I'll take it every single day. I loved it. And the joy that is coming from not having a different kind of stress on me anymore is awesome. The train was rolling through, so I stomped right there. But like I was saying, it's really nice to just have that different kind of, feeling tired because you've accomplished something. Because, man, this girl and all her anxiety and perfectionism and everything, getting out there and doing just those stinking 4 orders and making it through, I accomplished something. So I'm loving that. I'm excited. I am going to gather up all this, y'all were watching me trim the bolted basil. I'm going to gather all this up. I'm going to walk over here and take it to the girls. And then I might actually, see, look, I had moved this over here so I could go dump it in the compost, but I don't think I can pick that up very well with this around my neck. So, oh, hello, sunshine. See, I'm starting to sweat a little bit now too. I didn't get out here quite as early as I wanted to, but I'm going to give this to the girls. I'm going to go inside. I'm going to film a carnivore vlog and then probably mess with some of this footage and see where we're at and see what else we need to do for this weekend's upload. And then later on, I'm going to take a shower and get ready to go have a job interview and maybe get a job. Hey, girls. There's the chickies. No, you're not coming out here. I'm just trying to get you on film. So the girls have been laying less eggs lately. I don't know for sure why. It should, maybe because the days are getting shorter, we're getting closer to fall. Maybe it's because of the heat. But that's been kind of a struggle. I still have some people that I bring eggs to at my job that I just left. I'm still going to bring them eggs. And they've got today to pump out enough eggs for me to have enough to take tomorrow, because tomorrow's Friday. So we'll see what they do. I can't control how many eggs they lay, but I feel bad if I have to tell somebody I don't have enough eggs. I feel really crappy about that, even though it's completely out of my control. But anyways, that's it for right now. Like I said, I'm going to see what else I need to do, what else I can show you, what else I can talk about. I know that was kind of a long story, but yesterday was a big day for me. Not just, getting through the anniversary of Mom's passing, but also getting through some tough stuff with kind of this way I've decided to move forward. And I'm just excited. I'm just loving every minute of this, even though in the minute I may not love it, but in hindsight, when I look back and reflect, I'm loving it. I'm having so much fun, and it's so exciting. So thanks for being here. And either I'm going to add some more after this and cut this out, or this is going to be the end of the video. And I appreciate you being here. Like and subscribe if you want to follow to see what other kind of shenanigans I can get into out there on the streets. But yeah, thanks for scratching the dirt. Thanks for following along, and I'll see you soon.